Hello everyone, my name is Mark and I like to make music. If you've watched my channel before, you know I arrange music for handbell groups and for a cappella groups, but sometimes I like to react to music videos. In this video, I'm expanding my horizons a little bit. I'll be watching Friends on the Other Side, a bass singer cover by Casper Fox, featuring Jack Reese. This is going to be a blind reaction. I have heard many versions of this song before, including the original, but not Casper's version of it. I do know who Casper is, since he does so much with the Bass Gang, but I don't think I've ever heard one of his arrangements, and I definitely have never heard of Jack Reese. Friends on the Other Side is from Disney's The Princess and the Frog. The Princess and the Frog, which is a very good movie, with very good music. This might be my favorite song from the movie, but it's not my favorite movie, so I've only seen it like once, and definitely am not as familiar with the score as I am with some other movies. Just a reminder, this will be a reaction and analysis, so I will be stopping every now and then to comment on anything I notice. I will also primarily focus on musical and performance techniques or arrangement decisions, but I might also comment on the videography choices if something really stands out. And as always, if you are watching a reaction video, please make sure you go and watch the original as well, so we can support the other artists in their work. I will be linking it below so you can see it without any pauses. Alright, I think that's everything. Let's get started with Friends on the Other Side, a bass singer cover featuring Jack Reese.
Sit down at my table, put your mind at ease. If you relax and feel enable me to do anything I please. I can read.
Quite an interesting start. A lot more growly than I'm used to hearing this start. We've got this finger snaps. I think that's the first time I've heard those as the percussion element in an arrangement of this song. But that's very definitely a much more growly bass than I'm used to hearing from the bass singers I typically listen to. If I remember correctly, Casper has a very wide range. I'm not sure what he officially is, but he definitely has one of the wider ranges of the various a cappella people who are doing stuff right now. I don't think it's quite as large, or if it is as large as some of the, like Tim Faust, Jeff Castellucci's, it's set slightly higher, so he doesn't go as low, but he can go higher than they can. But I don't know about the actual numbers for that. But either ways, that was a very interesting start. Doomba 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 was basically the bass line I was hearing, and then it was an almost spoken bass lead for that. So that was interesting, and it looked like it switched right to Jack Reese when I started, because it did not look like Casper. But let's start from the beginning again.
Sit down at my table, put your mind at ease. If you relax and feel enable me to do anything I please. I can read your future, I can change it around some too. I look deep into your heart and soul, make your wildest dreams come true. Well, I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even.
I like his voice. Jack, I'm assuming that's Jack Reese. I like his voice. Sounds like a more natural bass, whereas I think Casper's expanded his range. Like I said, I don't know too much about him. I just am familiar with him. But yeah, so that was a nice That was a nice second phrase, and the arrangement is very different in this one than a lot of the others I've heard. This one is like very simple, 3 lines. Maybe before you got that bass line, the finger snaps or claps or something like that, and then the lead vocal, and that's really all I'm hearing, which is a lot different than a lot of the other groups I've heard have taken their arrangement in. It's still very cool. It's just a lot different. Let's go back to the beginning of where Jesse started, which is about there.
cards, I can read your future. I can change it around some too. I look deep into your heart and soul, make your wildest dreams come true.
Well, I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even try.
And I got friends on the other side.
He's got friends on the other side.
There's that lower bass that I was kind of expecting from the bass cover label. That was very definitely one of those extended techniques. I don't know which one's which one. From what I've heard, it might have been a throat bass, but I really don't know that. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the exact labels of the different extended techniques people use. But right, it was probably about 40 seconds, 50 seconds is where it got to that really low thing I was kind of expecting from earlier on. But yeah, that was cool. We'll do this part again.
Come true.
Well, I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even try.
And I got friends on the other side.
He's got friends on the other side. Oh, the cards, oh, the cards, oh, the cards will tell the past, the present, and the future as well.
Oh, the cards, yeah, just take 3. Take a little trip into your future with me.
I'm liking the choices a lot in this part. I liked him this like instrumental segment where he's doing like a trumpet with his voice. That was fun. And then I really like Jack Reese's voice. I think I need to look into him more. But I really like his voice. And this is it's I'm not trying to be a criticism. It's just so different from all the others I've heard, because there's a lot less like reverb and stuff in this editing, which totally fine to do that. That's not the issue. It's just so different from what I'm used to hearing in these a cappella groups that it's odd to hear. It's very stripped down, very fun in that way, but it's a lot less complex, and that is not a bad thing. It's just a lot less complex than a lot of the other a cappella things I've gotten used to hearing, which I think is more the point I'm getting at. It's not a bad thing, just a different thing, and that is not bad or good. It's just different. But I do like this little trumpet interlude. Yeah. Back again.
On the other side. Oh, the cards, oh, the cards, oh, the cards will tell the past.
And this is leaning more into some of the jazz aspects that Turn System and the Frog really leans into, because of course it's based in Louisiana, New Orleans. There's going to be a lot of jazz in that style, and the movie really leaned into that. A lot of the other covers I've seen of this do not have as much of that jazz influence, which actually is cool that Casper went with that jazz influence, and when some of the other groups haven't, because the growl he's using is really similar to, not quite as growly, but similar to what like Louis Armstrong would do when he would actually sing, because Louis Armstrong both sang and played trumpet, and when he sang he had a very raspy voice, and the grit that Casper is going for in this little section is more reminiscent of that than in some of the other covers I've heard of this. And it's a very stripped down arrangement, and I think I've gotten used to all the other groups where you see 3 guys on screen, but you're hearing 6, 8, 9 voices, because they'll multi-track a lot, and it looks like he's going very much for the 3-4 parts max the whole way, which is a fun choice compared to some of the other a cappella groups I've heard. Continuing.
The present and the future as well.
Oh, the cards, yeah,
I really like
just
his
take
voice.
3. Take a little trip into your future with me.
So in this background, you can see this is a upright bass that is being played with the fingers. Again, very reminiscent of that New Orleans style jazz that they really seem to be leaning into for this. Casper's doing a lot of the trumpet sound with his voice, which is very typical for New Orleans jazz. Some of the background voices are doing more of the sound you would expect from a trombone, which is fairly common in New Orleans jazz. You're more likely to have a tuba, but definitely having that trombone would be expected in most groups, not all groups, but you would definitely hear that. And some of the sound shapes he's doing, you can hear like the cup mute on the trombone. It might not be a cup mute, it might be like the plunger mute. I don't know what they're actually called. I'm not a brass player. But yeah, they're definitely leaning into a lot more of that New Orleans jazz style in this arrangement than some of the other arrangements have, which is cool. Let's go back a little bit. And also the way they are choosing to sing these bass lines is very reminiscent of that upright bass. The doompa 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 doompa. I can just see the bass player going doom, doom, like actually slapping it. I can see that in my brain. Very good imitation of that sound. Go back a little bit more.
Your future with me.
That ba ba bow. That definitely sounds like a trombone. And then slide out so you get the fall in it. Definitely sounds like that. Yeah, and the consonants he's choosing in the boom, all of those ba does very definitely sounds like a finger pluck bass, which is cool.
Are you ready? 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 Are you ready?
'Cause I got friends on the other side.
That was a fun transition. You were expecting the "Are you ready?" I've got friends on the other side, but they like, "Are you ready?" And the red is being held, and he's already started. I've got friends on the other side, so it's a lot of that transition is a fun transition. But very definitely the scatting. That's the term that you use in jazz music that they're doing with their syllable choices. Is very definitely. They are very definitely going after those sounds you would hear in a New Orleans jazz band, which is fun. I have not seen that yet in any of the a cappella that I have watched, which is a lot of a cappella, so that's fun. I say fun a lot. Go back a little bit more.
Are you ready?
And going back to that growl, he's got a lot of that growl in this section. Again, referencing Louis Armstrong, that type of jazz singing. And they kind of switched roles. When they did this little portion before, Casper was doing the backgrounds and Jack was doing the lead. Now Jack is doing the backgrounds and Casper's doing the lead.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
And you can also hear the trumpet vocal as well. Very improvisatory, overlapping kind of with the vocal lead, but not quite the same. And I can definitely hear some of like the bluegrass influence in the tone color he's going for.
Ready? Are you ready? like friends on the other side. Oh, sit down at my table. Put your mind at ease. If you relax, it will enable me to do anything I please. Oh, I can read your future. I can change it around some too. I look deep into your heart and soul, make your wildest dreams come true. Tell me what you want.
I hope.
Whisper, tell me what you want. That was just the right amount of creepy for this type of song. I'm not sure whether he's put a filter on it or not, because it definitely kind of, as you can see, it's the black and white, mostly black and white video with the grainy stuff going up and down it a couple times. Very definitely meant to look like an old black and white video from really before they started doing sound, but like right at the when they started adding sound to videos. That's definitely the kind of visual he's going for, and I can definitely hear either they're very good at modifying their vocal cavities to make it sound like it's coming out of an old speaker, old phonograph, or he's added a filter to make that happen, which is a nice touch. I hadn't realized that was what was happening at first, but now I'm almost certain that they're either modifying their voice to make it sound like that or have added a filter in post-production.
You're satisfied, but if you...
I'll go back a little bit. That was... yeah, and him staring into our soul as he's talking about staring into our soul. Nice videography touch.
I hope you're satisfied, but if you ain't, don't blame me. You can blame my friends on the other side.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Sit down at my table.
I'll listen to the end a little bit, see if I have anything else to say. Let's go back to here.
To your heart and soul, make your wildest dreams come true. Tell me what you want.
I hope you're satisfied, but if you ain't, don't blame me. You...
And his face is very definitely the face you would expect from the type of con man that Dr. Facilier is in the story. You got that facial expression was correct for that type of line.
Hey, my friends on the other side.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
So I enjoyed that. There's definitely, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Just because since I've seen so much of like the bass gang things with Casper in them, I think I was looking more for that, which is evidently not Casper's style for his own music, which is totally fine. Your own music can do what you want with your own music, that's fine. But it's definitely, so still definitely quite good. Like I mentioned a couple times, it's a lot more bare bones than I was expecting. But that kind of makes sense with the New Orleans vibe they were going for. With the New Orleans jazz quintet is really what it usually is, where you're going to have either a clarinet or a trumpet as the lead. Well, no. Typically there's a clarinet as lead. You did not really have that in this. Trumpet is going to be in there as well. Usually some saxophones and or trombones, and then a drum set typically, or if it's one of the walking ones, you would have a snare drum with a hi-hat on it, and then the bass instrument will either be a bass guitar, it'll really be an upright bass more often, but you have tuba as well. And they kind of went for that the whole time, just those 5-ish voices, which is, like I said, a different choice than a lot of the other people who have covered this song have made, which is cool in and of itself. So I did enjoy that. I hope you did as well. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting or meaningful in some way. If you did, please leave a like or comment and subscribe. And it does help smaller creators, such as myself, reach a much wider audience. If you have any suggestions for future reactions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and get to them as soon as possible. I do prefer blind reactions, but I'm open to any suggestions you have, even if I have already seen that video. Thanks again, and goodbye.